Lights, camera, action.
UPS, you piece of
I was like, you know what I want to do one day? I want to join a gang.
We're in 2022, upgrade the cameras.
Yeah.
We can see Saturn and shit, but like I can't get a clear picture of someone robbing the gas station.
That was the greatest night in the history of television.
If we can help ourselves, you know us.
True. We can take a little seed and turn it into a crop.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hello.
Pretty beautiful.
I like that.
I like this.
Seed to crop.
Yeah. Seed to crop industries.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I like that. So you want to hear what I went through the other day?
Please tell me.
All right. Everybody loves a good work misery story.
Oh, always.
Yeah. So I was at a house doing a shoot, and one of the things that I was doing that day was the Matterport, which briefly, for anyone who doesn't know Matterport, it's basically this camera, this big box camera that spins 360 degrees and it captures images.
Huh.
And then it pieces it together so that way if you're on Zillow looking at a house, the virtual tours that you can click through.
Oh.
Those are usually created with something like that. And it shoots lasers out too, so it gets the floor plan. It's all pretty cool.
Damn.
But I hate doing it. But
Right.
so I show up to the house and there's an agent and a family. And I just give them my spiel. I'm like, here's what I'm doing. So I can't really have people walking through here and, pets or whatever running through because it'll mess up the scan. So I need everybody just kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
So this family, I'll paint you the picture of this
Give
family.
it to me, please.
So the mom was bathrobe slippers at 1 p.m, which maybe she works nights, right? Maybe she works nights.
Could be.
I'll give her that.
Yeah.
The guy who I'm assuming is maybe the dad, boyfriend, whatever,
Sure.
he was dressed like he was going to propel from the ceiling in an art gallery and pull off a heist.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm not kidding.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, night and day, those two.
That's a drastic. You might as well have said he had a powdered wig on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, and a musket. So he was all black. He was wearing like an Under Armour tight kind of fitting form top, black pants, black boots, fingerless gloves, a tactical flashlight on his hip.
What?
I'm not kidding. And I think he might have even been wearing like a beanie up top.
To top it all off, the beanie.
That's why I said he looked like he was going to just drop down and steal something.
I can't, but I can see it in my mind. So this is a great start to the story.
Yeah, so that's them. And then they had, I'm assuming a son. I'm assuming it's their son.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to describe him would be something like Malibu's Most Wanted.
Oh, no.
Something like that. Like, I don't remember exactly what he was wearing, but I'm pretty sure it was like very loose, baggy clothing. He carried himself as if he were more gangster than he probably is.
He presented ethnic.
He did.
Although he was not.
He was not. And then they had a daughter who actually was the least of the problems of that family.
Right.
Like, she kept to herself. I think she walked through the room one time while I was scanning. That was the extent of it.
And she hates them.
I would imagine.
She hates all of them. She's like, this is the worst. The second I'm out of here, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. She couldn't wait, I'm sure. So, and then you have the agent.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the landlord, I think is who he was. All right, so the table is set. So I start to scan, and immediately these people are already, and they had cats too, by the way. So they had the cats locked up in a corner bedroom, and then so I'm starting to do my scan, and this agent is like, he's hovering, he's lingering, and the problem with that is that he was just so damn nosy that I'd be scanning and he would like peek around the corner, and I'm like, dude, get the fuck, get out of the way. You're going to be in it. Like, I don't understand why you're up on me. And I've never experienced that in all of my time shooting houses thus far.
Yeah.
I've never had someone like looking over my shoulder at the pictures I'm taking or hovering right behind me. Like, what nothing. The hell? I don't know what his deal was, but I would do it and he would be in the way, and I'd say, yeah, if you could just go stand like in that back room for me, just because it'll see you. And he's like, okay, for sure. And I would scan. And then as soon as it sounded like it was done, he would come and like
What
peek around, and I would have it set and I'd be ready to scan. And after like 3 or 4 times of doing this, like as I was about to scan, I would give him this look like, hey,
Like, dude,
you fucking joking? Get out of the way.
we know the procedure by now. This should be clockwork. You know
Yes.
what I'm doing.
I pick this up, I set it down, I scan. Move.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had that annoyance the entire time, and he was just always in the way.
Right.
Then I get to this hallway, and the way that this thing works, the way that they are able to stitch it all together so you can pass through into different rooms seamlessly.
Yeah.
Certain things have to be set ahead of time.
Okay.
So I couldn't go up to a door that's closed, scan in front of it with it closed, and then open and go through. It won't allow you to go through. So you have to have it open ahead of time.
Sure.
So that back bedroom door was closed, and now the bathroom door was closed, and it sounded like someone was in the shower. And I'm going, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to take a shower right now.
When I'm trying to, and this is like, let's just clarify, like you are doing this to help them sell their home.
Yeah.
This is like, if they want this to work, they need to let you work, basically.
I'm just there doing my job. And maybe they don't want to move, but maybe they have to.
Sure.
For financial reasons, hard times for everybody, or whatever it is, right?
It's one of those
I got the
days.
sense that this was definitely a pain in the ass for them.
You're like, it is for me too, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, now this is definitely a pain in my ass. So I get there and I tell the agent, I'm like, I think someone's in the shower right now or something, and I need those doors open to get. And he was like, okay, let me go. So he knocks on the master bedroom and tells the mom or whatever, like, oh, he needs to have these doors open. And so she's like, okay, comes and knocks on the door, yells at the kid, hey, hurry up, they need to get in there so we can get out. And this guy, by the way, the son, he's on the phone. I hear just running water, and he's on the phone and he's upset. He's going off on somebody, whoever's on the other line.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So he finally comes out. Come to find out, he wasn't taking a shower. He was taking a shit. So now it smells.
No.
And she's like, turn on the fan. And he's like, I'm going to spray. And so he goes and gets the spray, sprays it in there. The fan's running. And I'm like, dude, I got to pass through here. Are you kidding?
You now have to be in the ether of his shit.
I do. I very much do.
Oh, no.
So every time I went over there, I would, and I would go and I'd hit scan and I'd run away and I would do that every single time. And there's just accumulation of bad smells and poor perfumes and awful, right?
That's the thing about stuff, it's just like, have we as a society not realized that it doesn't take away the smell? It just
adds to it.
Intermingles it. And I also just love the emphasis on the fact that he was taking a shit and arguing with someone on the phone.
Yes.
That's amazing, actually.
While water was running. So, like, I don't know. He must have just turned on the sink or the shower.
Right.
And had that running while he was shitting and yelling at someone on the phone.
So much going on there.
So he comes out of the bathroom after he sprayed it. And he storms past me and he's on the phone. I don't have fucking time to go over this with you today. And he storms out into the backyard. So I continue to scan. I'm going through my steps and I'm getting to the next point where the couple are in their bedroom. The daughter's in her bedroom and I'm going to see them. I need you guys to fucking move. It's not hard.
Right.
And so I ask them, okay, can I swap with you? You guys go to the other end because I'm done there and I'll be here.
Right.
So the mom gets out. She leaves. The daughter gets up out of that room and goes into her room. The dad follows her into her room, and now they're just sitting and standing there talking. And I'm going,
guys,
move. I don't know why this is such a hard concept. Get the fuck out.
Right.
I'm going to see you. So then I have to go in there, and I can tell they're agitated already.
Sure.
I'm getting agitated. I have this fucking agent over my shoulder. He's agitating me more. So then I tell them, sorry guys, I'm going to need you to get out because I'll see you.
Right.
So if you could just go to that end of the house, I got to scan over here.
Yeah.
So then they fucking leave. So it's a hallway, right? So you get to the end of the hall and you look left, there's a room. You look right, there's a room. You look directly behind you. You can kind of see the living room a little bit.
Right.
So they move out of that bedroom, but they're still in line with the hallway. And the dad's leaning up against the wall. So when this camera spins around, it's still going to catch him.
No.
Not to mention when they came out of the master bedroom, all their fucking cats ran out too.
Oh my God.
And it's just a madhouse of bullshit that I'm having to So then I had to be like, dude, are you fucking joking? So then I had to turn around and be like, I'm sorry, excuse me. Could you just please move to that side of the wall? And he throws the biggest bitch fit. He rolls his eyes. He goes, and he gets up and he storms over to the other side of the fucking house. And I'm like, and I'm trying to be professional. I really am. I can't snap at these people.
Right.
Even though I want to. And then to top that off, the agent's standing in the doorway of the other room. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to scan. Fucking
still there.
Move. He's like, oh, you're still doing the thing that you've been doing this whole time? I just want to make sure it still works for you because
God bless it. And with the dad, you're going, and you can't say it, but I'll say it.
Yeah.
Hey, I know where you live now.
Right.
So the last thing you want to do is start giving me attitude, buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
You're dressed like you could maybe fight me
Yeah.
or steal something from me.
Sure.
But, you know.
And also, don't you have something to do if you're dressed like that?
Right.
That's not leisurely dress.
No, like you're going to do something or you just came back
Right.
from the heist.
And if you came back, get into some comfy clothes like a normal person.
I don't know why he was dressed like that. I was trying to think in my head, like what line of work, like a plumber? Not really.
No.
I don't know, like a construction worker, maybe like an electrician.
Like a sewage fucking.
Because he had the flashlight, he had the boots.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would need to be dressed like that.
There's not a good reason.
But I was very curious. But yeah, he threw a fucking fit. And at that point, I was just done. I was like, okay, cats are running through. They're getting in my shots.
Yeah.
I don't even care anymore.
At this point.
I'm just going to scan it. And this guy's going to have to deal with it. Because he knows. He's been hovering over my shoulder the whole time. He knows what I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they were all just pains in the asses. And as soon as I got that last scan, I didn't even say like, all right, thank you so much. And I just fucking left. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. See ya.
And the worst part about that is like, those are the kind of people who are going to be like, gosh, what was his problem?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. After all that, they're going to be like, geez, what was it? Did you hear him? The way he was telling us to move everywhere and then he just left.
And not to give you too much anxiety, but the worst part about this is that I'll be so mad if you get a call and they're like, so we see that some cats are in the shop and that's just not going to work for us.
I'm waiting for it.
Oh,
I'm waiting for it because it's happened.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell this story. I'll just send them this clip.
Just send them this clip.
And I'll say, now you tell me what I could have done better because I told everybody multiple times what I was doing, what it entailed, move the fuck out of the way. They didn't seem to get it.
And this is just where people these days, you know, I think we're dealing with something, I don't know what you want to call it. I just guess you could call it like a general lack of IQ. This is what I say. I say the lack of awareness.
It's a lack of awareness. The lack of awareness, and this job has exposed that, by the way. The lack of awareness in humanity today is like dumbfounding. It's startling. Baffling. It's scary.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Someone's coming to your house to take photos.
Right.
And your lack of awareness is so high that you're just like, oh, I'm gonna just waltz through my house. Yeah. Because this is not the first time. This is the worst that it's been.
Yeah.
But this is not the first time that I've had to be like, are you kidding? You're walking around right now while I'm trying to take a photo. Do you guys not know how photos work?
Right.
You know I'm supposed to be here, right? You know what I'm here for?
And not only that, it's like, let me also just take a shit real fast.
Yeah.
Let me take a shit.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I wonder, this is a thought that's coming to me now, and this is me being incredibly dramatic, but I think there might be something to it. It's just, the more comfortable the world gets, the less aware we are.
Yeah.
Our awareness used to be the implication of our awareness was that like a fucking wild animal doesn't fucking eat us. Mm-hmm. We used to have to be as aware can get.
Yep.
So you didn't get, a cougar, like a saber-toothed tiger didn't bite you in the balls.
Yeah.
A poisonous snake. You had to think about this.
You had you were scanning the environment. You were listening. You were observant.
It's just like we don't have that now. And we should, though, especially in this city, because it may not be a saber-toothed tiger, but it could just be a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
It could be like a fucking little heroin needle. You don't want to step on that. Mm-hmm. You should have your eyes peeled still.
I call it like maybe HIA syndrome. Head in ass syndrome.
Oh,
that's what we should call it. It's HIA.
Perfect. He got that HIA.
Yeah. They're like, what's that, a new STD? And I go, no, it's even worse.
Right.
Head in ass.
Right. Which could cause an STD.
It definitely could, depending on the ass.
Yeah, like Magic Johnson has HIV, but like this family has HIA.
Yeah.
And they're living, and Magic Johnson has it better.
Yeah, because he's probably aware of stuff. At the very least.
He had the greatest court awareness of all time. That guy had eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah.
He could make passes that no one else even thought existed. That if we're talking about awareness,
oh yeah.
Magic J has that.
Yeah.
Magic J. I almost wanted to call him the Juice, but that's OJ Simpson.
That's a very different one. Different kind of
Juice.
awareness, I think.
Yeah, and he did. He had field awareness. Or OJ Simpson.
Yeah. He knew his way around a knife, I think.
He did.
So I've heard.
I just, I could imagine that with your job, especially. What's the worst part about your job that I didn't never realized is that these are not empty houses. I always just imagine like this house was just built.
Yeah.
Like, no one's even stepped a foot in there. Like, no, you got people shitting, you got cats.
God, if only they were all empty houses.
Yeah.
But when I show up and it's an empty house, I'm like, yes.
It's the best day ever.
It's the best day ever.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it is not that.
Well, what's even okay. But there should be like protocols to this shit though. Like you shouldn't be like, if you're going to sell your house and you're going to try and have me sell your house, like if I was an agent, I'd be like, you fuckers clean up. Like make it as if you're about to fucking move.
Yep.
And then we'll get some walkthroughs and then we'll take some pictures. Like, I don't need you guys living your day to day.
Right.
And I'm trying to bring someone in and you got your little, fucking, your little yellow wolf, your little wannabe your wannabe Slim Shady, your little Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Fucking taking dumps and doing fucking verbal abuse over the phone.
Exactly.
God.
No. And that's exactly it. And I think some agents do tell the clients.
Yeah.
And sometimes the clients won't listen.
Right.
And then we show up and then we got to call the agent and be like, hey, this place looks like a dump. And they got to be like, well, I told them. And then, but there are those situations too where the agents themselves aren't ready. And they're literally trying to stage the house as we're there. And it's exactly what you said. I'm thinking, if you know this work still needs to be done to the house.
Yeah.
Why are you scheduling construction, for example, at the same time as photography, and then get mad when there's construction equipment in the shot? Like I get paid to take the photos. I'm not a mover.
Yeah.
I don't get paid to move all these tools. And there was this one lady too, who same thing.
Yeah.
I've shot twice for her already. And both times she had people there working on the house as I'm shooting. And I'm like, what? And I was taking a photo of a room one time and a guy literally opened the door, no awareness for me.
Yeah.
Walked in, plugged in this big orange extension cord and walked out.
Fair.
And I was like, sweet, man. Nice.
Sick.
Yeah, no one's going to see that in the shot.
Sick.
And they were like welding shit outside.
Oh my God.
So I'm shooting the best that I can with what I'm working with. She has the audacity.
Ooh.
After the photos are turned in and edited, to complain because outside the window you can see one of the trash cans in the recycling bin. And I'm going, How about the fucking 10 construction workers that were there and all their tools and all your bullshit that you could walking through my shots and stuff? How about that? That's not in your photos. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
Ma'am.
I was so pissed. I was so pissed when I heard that that was a complaint. Oh my God.
Head and ass.
Head in ass syndrome. Do not schedule photos at the same time as some other shit. That's so dumb.
You gotta, when you're dealing with humans, you gotta give them the benefit of the doubt. You gotta go, I'm not gonna assume that you are the worst. I'm not gonna assume that you're gonna lie to me up front. I'm not gonna assume that you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. But something's telling me that maybe it's a little bit okay to just jump there and then work backwards.
Yep.
To just start there and then go, okay, no, you're proving to me that your head is in fact not in your ass.
Or, yeah.
It represents it.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. I think you're right. Maybe I should just approach everything like this person's going to have their head in their ass.
Yeah.
And then as I work through it, I go, okay, they're not. Fine. Awesome.
I think, it's unfortunate that most people's heads are in their asses. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what made us bury them up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 24-hour news cycles or...
Yeah, exactly.
The pandemic or just like... I don't know. I don't know if it was when Cartoon Network stopped making good cartoons. Like,
right, yeah.
There's been so many things that have happened when we've figured out that the Berenstain Bears and the Bernstein Bears, like, there's just something happened and heads just started going in asses.
Yep. Where, like, how ostriches bury their face in sand?
Yeah.
That's what people are doing with their own asses now.
It's what they do with their asses. I think social media has something to do with it. Mm-hmm.
Just there's a disconnect, I think.
There's a disconnect.
I think there really is. And I'm sure the pandemic played or amplified that if not playing into it, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like the things that people think are okay.
Yeah.
In terms of houses, in terms of this particular. Like I went to one and it was wild. I felt like I stepped into somewhere I wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
This was in the UNM area, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was like this. I only piece together what something looks like. I don't always know the details.
Sure.
The family dynamic seemed to me grandfather, grandson, and his younger sibling.
Okay.
That was the situation that I got. They were like an Asian family.
Okay.
And so the grandfather, his English was real rough.
Sure.
So it was already hard to understand this guy. The place was a mess. I mean, a mess, like an episode of Hoarders type mess.
Okay.
And when I see it like this, I'm going, there's no, my first instinct when I do that is to text one of the bosses and be like, hey, is this a shoot as is kind of house? Because every now and then there are those.
And they want it as is.
And sometimes they will, because there's certain situations where like the house is already sold, but legally they have to have photos anyway.
Fair enough.
So sometimes they're like, yeah, the house can be a mess, just shoot them. They need them.
Fair enough.
So I was like, is this a shoot as is? I don't think it was. And I was like, dude, this is rough.
Yeah.
This is rough. And then again, it was one of those where the grandson was like hibernating in his room. And I went in there and like there was a wad of cash on the windowsill. Amongst the mess, by the way. It was like an I Spy book. Wads of cash, a money counting machine on the floor.
Oh my God.
A handgun, a magazine for like rifles with bullets in it over there. And then just like mess all the way around everywhere else. And then this also really creepy, steep staircase that goes down into this basement that has really no windows, barely any light. It was just awful. And they still wanted us to shoot it.
And there definitely was like kidnapped people in there at some point.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like there's almost certainly someone at some point was kidnapped, tied up in that basement.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I didn't get like creepy, scary horror movie vibes.
Sure.
But I just got uneasy. Like, ooh, like I don't know.
Like, just by seeing this, I could get called to court to testify something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just by even being with my eyes even laying on this environment, like, I could be summoned for something.
Yeah.
Court-wise, legally.
You might get caught in the crossfire of something, of what this grandson's doing on the side. I'm just there to shoot photos. It was wild. And then the agent showed up. This was her first time being there. She hadn't seen it before. And I was like, yeah, welcome. Welcome to the party. How should we do this? And then I just heard a conversation that gave me a headache that she was having with the grandfather.
Yeah.
And it was just like this back and forth of, so you don't want to sell it or you are selling it? And you do want, well, we need to do this if you're selling it, but you don't want to sell. It was like, I was having a headache. I was frustrated for her. I was glad I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I was just hearing little bits and pieces, but she was really having a hard time. She even stopped and was like, I'm sorry, I'm really confused. Like, why we're even doing this? And like,
He's like, well, when the FBI was here a week ago, I thought we needed to sell it, but
yeah.
they seem to have moved on.
He's like, but now we're good. So, for now.
Oh man, your job is so interesting.
You meet a lot of interesting people. A
I
lot
guess
of characters.
I didn't know. I guess I could have never fathomed the extent by which your job could be of such interest. I guess you just don't imagine, like, if someone's selling a house at all, if someone's in possession of a house and selling it, there's a certain thing that comes to mind, you know. I guess because like you go to a bougie house walkthrough, the agent's there,
Yep.
there's a fucking cheese fucking plate,
a charcuterie board.
a charcuteries. They got a damn charcuteries, you know. They got wine. They got fucking like cucumber water. Nah, that is not the.
That's like one.
That's like one out of every like 20, especially here.
Especially here. No, literally, it's like one out of every 20. And not to paint the picture too that I only shoot dumpster houses.
Sure,
but the situation you're talking about is way fewer than you would think.
Right.
With this, that's interesting that's the perspective you have, that I'm just walking around these like $1 million LA type homes. And
I guess I just thought that like there was a very clear protocol for these things. Like things had to be a certain way to even start a next step of the process.
Me too. But this job's taught me, no, you can pretty much have photos done in any stage of the moving process. Holy shit.
We're all learning.
Yeah.
I'm sure those at home are learning as well.
They are. Yeah. And hopefully if you're selling your home, you take this into consideration for your agents, for your photographers, for the people who come and measure your house. Please have that shit ready to go and get the fuck out of the way.
It's crazy, like the disconnect that I could understand. It's like that thing, like, I don't know if you ever heard, like, well, you probably have. It's like, let's say you have cats, right? Like your people from earlier. And, you know, you live in there. So like you don't smell cat litter as much.
Yeah.
But like someone comes to your house for the first time and it's like, damn, it smells like cat litter in here. Clearly these people have some cats.
Oh yeah.
And there's that disconnect too of just like, well, like when you're in your bubble, like your bubble seems normal.
Nose blind.
I love that. Like your grandson's selling drugs. Your grandson's part of like the mafia.
Yeah.
And like there is a child in the other room. He's probably selling drugs too. We got a real like euphoria
exactly
fucking situation.
That's actually the best way to describe it. That's how that house felt. It felt like Angus Cloud, his little brother in the show.
Yeah.
It felt like that, except the house was way messier.
And like the grandparent wasn't in a coma.
Right. Yeah.
Like the grandparent was well aware.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. If you need an image of what I walked into, of what that dynamic felt like, that's it. 100%.
For those who keep thinking euphoria is not realistic,
pretty spot on in most cases.
You got to have some privilege to think euphoria is not realistic. That shit's dude. Real.
Sheesh.
Oh
my
God,
God.
I'm shook. I'm shook. Anything else come to mind of just I don't know if this is. I mean, we're already this far. Do you got any other?
Sorry if this was not the episode everyone tuned in for.
No, I'm. What I'm saying is like, it's kind of. I know it must be weird to like talk about work shit.
Yeah.
But like, especially like when we're in a public setting.
Yeah.
But is there any other crazy ass? I'm hoping there's even more, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I got one. You meet some characters.
Yeah.
And I got one of this guy. The house was not the problem. It was this guy.
Okay.
He was very, he's like a military or ex-military. So
Right.
he already has that like, nobody's going to tell me what the fuck to do in my fucking house. No fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he has
that kind of
about
thing.
him. Yeah. Not to say all military people are like that, but he had a meathead persona about him.
Sure.
When I first walked in, he was actually pretty cool. And he was just like, yeah, man, let me know if there's anything that I need to do or to move or whatever.
Yeah.
And so right away, I saw like 20 pairs of shoes lining the floor in the dining room, by the way. And on the dining room, there were gun bags with guns in them, just like on the table.
God damn.
And then there was this like bedside nightstand kind of thing at the front with like his pocket knife, phone, keys, change, all that kind of stuff, right? Which are eyesores for real estate photos.
It's just probably not the best to just have like weaponry and your personal belongings.
And actually, we're not allowed. We won't shoot photos if you have guns. Like they have to take them down or put them away or whatever. We can't shoot if there's like guns. We can't we tried not to shoot like any sort of medications, right?
Right.
And I've shown up to houses where the nightstand is 30 pill bottles all in the thing, and it's like,
damn.
God bless.
In a different life, I'd be in there.
Yeah.
And that's why, right? Because if you shoot and these pictures go online, well, I'm sure there's many reasons, but if these pictures go online and there's guns and pill bottles, boy, they will come a flocking. If you show it, they will come.
That's it. And that's it, because they've had instances in the past where they'll shoot a room and it's got a safe in it.
Yep.
And people now have the address and they know this place has a safe. They know it has guns or whatever it is.
Boom.
Boom. Done.
Easy peasy.
So that's why we don't shoot those things. We avoid them. So, but also just an eyesore. Like an agent will absolutely complain if they're like, there's a nightstand with a bunch of shit on it. Like, why didn't you guys clean that off? First of all, why the fuck didn't you clean it off? Or tell the homeowner to clean it off, lady.
Right.
Not my job. But so I tell the guy those things. I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's some stuff on here. If we could just kind of like clear that off and get these shoes maybe into another room. And immediately he's just like, no, I'm not going to move that, bro.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to move anything else around. And I said, okay, I mean, it's not for me. It's more for the agent. Cause if I shoot it like this and they see this stuff, they're not going to be happy. They're going to have us come back and no, you're not coming back, man. I'm not doing this again. I'm only doing this the one time. And I was like blindsided. Cause at first he was offering to help.
Right.
And now he's like, no, I'm not doing shit. And I was just kind of like stunned. Because I'm still relatively new in this job. Yeah. I'm less than a year. I'm like 6 months. And at the time of doing this, I was maybe even like 3 or 4.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know what to do right now. Because I'm told not to shoot this shit and this guy's not going to move it. So what the fuck do it? So I was just like, okay. Well, I don't even remember what I said. I was just like, all right. So I'm just going to go through the house then and turn on lights, open windows, get it set, and then I'll start shooting. And so I'm doing that. And the other guy that I work with showed up to do the other part of the project. And I'm coming down the stairs and I can hear them kind of having the same argument. And he's like, dude, bro, no, this is insane. And, the guy that I work with is very nice. He's very chill. He's like soft-spoken kind of. He's like, I totally understand. We're coming in your space. It's just we can't have guns and photos. So we're going to, and he's like, you know what? You guys don't do anything. I'm going to call the agent right now. This is ridiculous.
Oh my.
So he goes outside and he's pacing back and forth and calling. And The guy's girlfriend was there, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, guys." and and the
She's
guy's
like, honestly, like, help me.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, literally.
I'm
like,
so sorry. Yeah, and he's like, "No, and I understand. Like, we're strangers coming in your home. We're not trying to tell you what to do. There's certain things we have to follow and have to do."
right.
So then the guy comes back in and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna move the guns, but that's it. I'm not moving anything else." And like, all right.
Sure.
By the way, the guns are like 5 feet from where he was going to move them. Was that really too hard for you to do?
Right.
You're a military man. You've lifted hundreds of pounds in gear and shit and hauled it through deserts and all that. And you
Right.
can't move a couple guns 10 feet? The fuck out of here. So, yeah, he was an asshole.
God.
He was an absolute dick. And he's just giving us attitude the entire fucking time. And I was just like, dude, are you joking?
It's head and ass. It's head and ass.
Head and ass.
It just makes you wonder, like, what would be the benefit of just having a ton of guns in your pictures of the house you're trying to sell?
Like, how do you think that that's something that you just do? Like, I'm not moving shit. I'm going to leave my pile of guns on the fucking table in the gun bags. He also had live explosives.
Oh my God.
And I know that, like, when his girlfriend is helping him, he's like, "No, yeah, those are the grenades. Like, here, give those to me."
It's just like, huh? Are
Yeah.
you even allowed to have these?
Maybe.
You might be like
don't-
incriminating your own self if you want us taking pictures of these
Yeah,
things.
Right?
Like,
Yeah. So you meet some characters like that who are just in a mood.
yeah.
And like, I think she explained that he was going through a hard time outside of this.
Yeah.
So he was definitely taking out some stuff on us, but figure it out.
Figure it out,
It's not
bud.
fucking hard.
Figure it out, bud. Life is but a dream.
It is. It really is. This was good because it's like, I've never gotten to really vent those before.
Right.
So I'm glad that you were a receptacle.
Sometimes you gotta like go like, let's not just like brush past this like it was just any old day.
Yeah.
Like, let's go ahead and let's talk this one out.
And sometimes I like to do it just to see if I'm the one in the
Sure.
wrong. Like, was I overreacting? Was that family actually just living their life and I'm impeding on their space? And you know what I mean? Do I
close.
have the wrong idea about it? Like, I want to know that. So I express it.
Right.
Because in the moment I'm angry, I'm stressed, I'm frustrated. And then-
Right.
So yeah, it's good venting.
It's good venting. That's what today was. It was the therapy couch.
Yes.
We had to have the therapy couch.
And the therapy couch is always open.
Yeah,
I
it
would
is.
say. I want to hear about your horror stories at work, at your job, at just a random interaction. If you have like a crazy, like some people are like, dude, I went to the grocery store and this fucking guy, I've got those too.
Yeah.
I want to hear those.
Right. Like, yeah, like I went to the grocery store and like this guy took a shit and then he started jerking himself off with it. Just like something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, maybe you know how we did our Halloween, like people called in with real ghost stories. It'd be cool to have people call in. And that would be therapeutic. If you could call in and just be like, I had the worst fucking day, vent it to us.
Yeah.
And then be on your way. Now it's a win-win. We get some good content. You vent, a little therapy.
I think we got to do it.
I would listen to that.
I would listen
to that episode.
I think we got to do it.
I think so.
That's perfect. Now, please hit us up.
Hit us in the inbox. You know where it's at.
You know what we do.
And tell us like, hey, I've got a work story that will knock your socks off. So simple, short, little ditty today, but still.
I had a damn good time.
I had a great time.
I had a great fucking time. I had one of the best times because I learned so much today. I learned so much today. And anything that can get me a better insight into like how Estevan's life is going, I'll take it because I love it. And you never know, man. You could sit next to someone for so long and not even know half the shit they go through.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
What's great is that will never stop. I'll always be able to come to the table with new like stories about that. Well, I had a great time. Hopefully we added a little extra happy hump to your hump day.
Damn right.
And yeah, let us know your horror stories, your work stories, the fun stuff. And until next week, we'll see you around.